I know.
What happened?
The wallpaper, I can see him.
Yeah, that is a potential sanction. You see the screen, Prabhu?
Yeah.
It's getting hanged. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Gita Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Gita Divine with AC Bhakti Vedanta, Tam ज्ञानस्य ज्ञानञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादाः सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं कामं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
So, Zoom ended?
For me, technically. For you?
I think I understand. Is my voice audible on Zoom?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. So, Prabhu, do we read the seventh verse or no?
I don't know. Verse was read already, Prabhuji. Only half purport was read.
So,
but if you want, you can continue
yes.
taking.
No, we should finish the half purport. No? While
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll read quickly one time and then we'll go quickly. Aho bata swa pacho to gariyam
Aho patata pacho to gariyam
ya jivagre vartate nama tubhyam
ya jivate gartate nama tubhyam
te pustapaste juhuvu sashnurarya
te pustapaste juhut asnapyam
brahmano chur nama vinanti ete.
brahma muchu nama grananti yevi.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kind of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be once again, persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship They must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So this is Mother Devahuti. She is glorifying the process of chanting. And this also shows that Mother Devahuti is little bit, not little bit, very much overwhelmed with gratitude. And she is telling that how fortunate are those who chant the holy names of Krishna. It is said that even if they are born in a family of dog eaters, means even if their birth is very bad, anybody who chants the holy name of Krishna, they become qualified to even worship Radha Gopijan Vallabh. Examples are sitting here also and all over. So independent of their birth. Why? This is all the mercy of the holy name. This holy name will does everything. Now, why is it so? Who is qualified to say perform sacrifices? Are Brahmanas, correct? What is the characteristics of Brahmanas? They are in mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is Brahmana, mode of goodness and passion is Kshatriya. Passion and ignorance is Shudra, and mode of ignorance is no passion, ignorance is Vaishya, and mode of ignorance Shudra. Now, if we are born or if our qualities are that of dog eater, then eating dog is mode of ignorance or eating flesh or anything. So now one may be born in mode of ignorance, but then the holy name can bring one to goodness. And that's why if we chant the holy name regularly, then we will become Brahmanas also. Because it doesn't matter by the birth. Ultimately, Krishna says guna karma vibhagasha, based on guna and based on karma. So when guna comes to goodness, when we come to mode of goodness, then independent of how we are born, now we become Brahmanas. And that's why the conception that Brahmana are only by birth, it's a very um, like um, misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, because ultimately it is based on guna, and our guna can change by the holy name, and that's why those and then so persons who chant the holy name of your lordship must have executed all kind of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryas. To be chanting the holy name of your lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So what is the qualification to chant the holy name? What is the qualification required to chant the holy name? The qualification is you must you must perform severe austerities, you must perform sacrifices, you must become as good as Aryans, you must study the Vedas, and then you visit the holy places of pilgrimage, you take bath in holy rivers. And when you do these things, that gives you the qualification to chant the holy name. So people who are chanting, they must have performed all these things in the past life. And that's why they can come to this point or they can chant the holy name. Krishna. Okay, so Prabhu, how much purport? From where do I have to start the purport?
I think from a second paragraph.
Second paragraph. Okay, not much. The holy name has to be chanted to please the Supreme Lord. Why holy name has to be chanted?
To please Supreme.
Why do we chant the holy name? Yeah. But why do we chant the holy name? Sometimes we chant the holy name so that I can be absorbed, so that I can become peaceful. Because um, it's written in scriptures that I should chant. We may have various reasons, but ultimately, what does chanting means? Chanting is a part of kirtan, correct? Kirtan with group or kirtan alone is chanting. And what does kirtan means? Kirtan means to glorify. So chanting, when we chant, then even if we are not very happy or not very distracted chanting, and then if we can think, Krishna, I'm doing it for your pleasure. When we are doing kirtan, we may be very sad while doing kirtan because we don't feel connected. And then we say, Krishna, here I'm trying to glorify you. And then Krishna is pleased. Because ultimately it doesn't matter how much deep we feel, because that is also based on Krishna's mercy. But if we act in such a way that Krishna is pleased, then Krishna's mercy will come. And rest is okay. Just try to attract Krishna's mercy. So the holy name has to be chanted to please the Supreme Lord and not for any sense gratification. One should not chant for any sense gratification. So what is sense gratification? Sense gratification can go at multiple levels. One sense gratification is
Gross.
gross, है ना? But then there is another kind of sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada says, for me to live in Vrindavan, chant the holy name is sense gratification. But I came out because I have to perform the order of my spiritual master. When we do bhakti, and when we do, like this is spoken in one class, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was mentioning. He was mentioning that if we don't follow the devotees and we don't want to serve, and then you want to sit back and you want to chant the holy name, and then when service comes, then we are like, no, I'm not interested. When we neglect our responsibility in the name of chanting, then Maharaj says that is also sense gratification. Ultimately, the best progress can be made when devotees are pleased. It's not dependent upon how many stick, like sometime, I'll chant 64 rounds, I'll chant, and then we take our own vows, and then we neglect what devotee says and what is needed to be done, and we neglect so many things in the name of fulfilling our vows. So which is good. If we take a vow, higher vow, we should do it, but not at the cost of our responsibility, whether to in a family members, for example, to our husband, to wife, to children, or in ashram, whatever is needed in the temple. So those must be done. Along with that, whatever time you have, you do extra. Then our progress in Krishna consciousness will be very wholesome. And not for any sense gratification or professional purpose. If this pure mentality is there, then even though a person of a low family, such as dog eaters, he is so glorious that not only has he purified himself, but he is quite competent to deliver others. You may be born in the family of dog eater, and still, if you just chant the holy name, you can get the qualification even to deliver others, not only deliver oneself. That much potency holy name can give. He is competent to speak on the importance of the transcendental name, just as Thakur Haridas did. So Thakur Haridas, he was he was a transcendental personality. He is Brahma. All the devatas are in mode of goodness, but Brahma is a pure devotee of the Lord. But then apparently he took birth in a Malecha family, which is not even mode of ignorance, which is like lower than that. But he apparently, just to show, because Mahaprabhu wanted to show that birth does not matter. So Thakur, just as Haridas Thakur did, he was apparently born in a family of Mohammedans. But because he was chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord offenselessly, Lord Chaitanya empowered him to become the authority or acharya of spreading the name. But because he was chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord offenselessly, Lord Chaitanya empowered him to become the authority or acharya of spreading the holy name. So you all can do that. If we just try to chant the holy name sincerely, I cannot say offenselessly because that's very advanced. Haidas Thakur can do that. But if we remain serious, then we can also, you all can also be empowered by Lord Chaitanya to fulfill his mission, independent of what our past was. Lord Chaitanya empowered him to become the authority or acharya of spreading the name. It did not matter that he was born in the family which was not following the Vedic rules and regulations. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Prabhu accepted him as an authority because he was offenselessly chanting the name of the Lord. Authorities like Advaita Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya immediately accepted that he had already performed all kind of austerities, studied the Vedas, and performed all sacrifices. So you know the story of Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur. Advaita Acharya was performing the Shraddh ceremony for his ancestors. And what happens is when you do Shraddh ceremony, then the first, it's basically Shraddh is like you offer the food to Lord Vishnu, and then the remnants of the food you first offer to the most qualified person in the assembly, and you feed him. And then you feed other Vaishnavas. So like the presiding personality who is like the most glorious personality. So Advaita Prabhu was a Brahmana, and he was that kind of Brahmana that all the Brahmanas would bow down to him. He was like a very glorious Brahmana, Advaita Prabhu, in the society, although he is Mahavishnu himself. But then when he performed the Shraddh ceremony to his ancestors, he gave the first grain, the first plate, to Haridas Thakur. And it was very surprising to many Smarta Brahmanas who were present there, because Haridas Thakur was considered a Mohammedan. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he recognized Haridas Thakur as the most glorious personality. because he saw that he is chanting the holy name sincerely. Likewise, we also should not see people based on anything other than how sincerely they are chanting. If somebody is chanting sincerely, then we should see that, oh, this person is glorious. Should not look like he speaks very nicely, or he's born in this family, or he has a very good background, or very good education, or very wealthy, or and these are not the ways to judge a person. But it is based on, oh, this person is sincerely chanting. So he is superior to me. So I must respect him. So anybody who chants the holy name of the Lord sincerely, he demands respect from everyone. And we see that when Srila Prabhupada, he is, of course, he has perfected his chanting. And when Srila Prabhupada came, everybody would go down to Srila Prabhupada, even without knowing who Srila Prabhupada is, they would bow down. So it is said that one who sincerely chant the holy name of Krishna, he demand respect. There are two kinds. There is one is called commanding respect, one is called demanding respect. Commanding respect means your behavior and your activity is such that people love to respect you. And demanding respect is like, why don't you respect me? See, I came to Krishna consciousness one night before you. Why don't you respect me now? Or for whatever reason. So that's why we should just focus on our Krishna consciousness. Who is the most famous person? The most famous person is one who is a devotee of Krishna. This question was asked between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. Who is most famous? Then Ramananda Roy said, a pure devotee of Krishna. Ebe Jashat, uh, Ebe Jas Kushuk Tribhuvana. His fame is spread not only in this planet but in all the three worlds. And Krishna is the one. Krishna is all famous, right? So a devotee of Krishna develops all the six opulences of Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu, they accepted Haridas Thakur as they were the authorities, and they accepted Haridas Thakur as the most qualified. So that shows that the holy name can make even a dog. Actually, you know what does Malechas means?
Muslims.
And why they are called so?
Because eating, no, they eat the beef.
I would be Malaka. It means disturbing speech.
Oh,
Like the Malaka was any barbarian who did not speak Sanskrit.
okay.
And so the word itself is related to the incomprehensible talking of barbarians.
Oh, okay. And they also eat
Beef.
um, beef and dogs and other things. And Haridas Thakur was born in such a family. But he is accepted because he's chanting, he is accepted by great authority like Lord Chaitanya as respectable because of his offenseless chanting. There is a hereditary class of Brahmanas called the Smarta Brahmanas, however, who are of the opinion that even if such persons who are chanting the holy name of the Lord are accepted as purified, they still have to perform the Vedic rites or await their next birth in a family of Brahmanas so that they can perform the Vedic rituals. Now, you heard the story of Buddhimanta Khan in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. Buddhimanta Khan. So he actually he was like his adopted son. He was a Muslim, his adopted son. So he took some contaminated water and threw on Buddhimanta Khan. And Buddhimanta Khan now is considered as a Muslim, although he was a Brahmin. So that was that much. He never heard that before. If you're a Muslim, takes water and throws at you, now you become a Muslim. And that's how the belief was 500 years back. So then he was very disturbed. He went to Brahmanas. He says, how can I purify my sins? Because now I have become a Muslim. So now what would Rupa and Sanatana Goswami call themselves as?
Yeah, very low class.
And they would say that we are Muslims. And they are born actually in Saraswat Brahmana family. And why would they consider themselves as Muslims?
Because they worked
For a Muslim king. So whether you work or you eat the remnants or you just the water splash, then by the society they are considered like that. And a devotee should always accept. Now, is Rupa and Sanatana Goswami right? That no. So we don't consider them as, it's not the right thing. As Shastra, it's not. They are writing books and they says it's not by birth, it's by good and karma, but they would consider themselves as Muslims. But they would write exactly what they are writing. what they think of themselves, exactly opposite they're writing in their books. Does it make sense? And why? Because the best religious principle is whatever makes us feel humble. That is the best religious principle. So that thought that we are Muslim made them feel like, we are so degraded and they are devotees of the Lord, they are worshipable. We cannot sit at their level. Their feet should be worshipped and we are very fallen, degraded. And and Mahaprabhu was very pleased by that behavior. Mahaprabhu taught through Rupa and Sanatana Goswami what humility means. He taught through them. Like he preached holy name through, he taught the glories of the holy name through Haridas Thakur, the glories of Rasa Tattva through Ramananda Roy, and the glories of humility and humility Acharya is Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. He taught through different different qualities. So there is a hereditary class of Brahmana. So he was like thrown, and the Brahmana said, "Oh, now you have been a Muslim." He says, "Now I want to become a Brahmana again. What do I do?" They said, "You have to drink boiling hot ghee." Then Buddhimata Khan said, "But then I will die." He said, "That's what the punishment. You have to die and pray to Vishnu so that you can be born as a Brahmana in next birth." So they think if you're not born, and then they went to, later on he served Rupa Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan. Then he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What do I do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just said, chant Hare Krishna. And he became a pure devotee because he met Mahaprabhu. So that time it was um, a low class man. If a Brahmana talks to low class man, people will think, it's like there was lot of achut. If you achut means untouchable. Untouchable. Like if you talk to them, it's considered as he's a Brahmana, he's talking to a Shudra, a Malecha. Oh. His whole reputation in the society is doomed. That was the casteism at that time during Mahaprabhu's time. And what Mahaprabhu would do, Mahaprabhu will embrace those who are Shudras also. When Ramananda Roy came, he is from a lower birth. And Mahaprabhu is embracing and they are crying. So Mahaprabhu is completely liberating people from those concepts. But uh, that thing was, and it was there during Saraswati Thakur's time also, it was very strongly there. But now it's actually becoming a little better actually. Now it's, but during 500 years back, it was very intense. That's why many people hate this casteism. It was a misunderstanding there. So there is a hereditary class of Brahmanas called the Smarta Brahmanas, however, who are of the opinion that even if such persons who are chanting the holy name of the Lord are accepted as purified, they still have to perform the Vedic rites and or await their next birth in the family of Brahmanas so that they can perform the Vedic rituals. They say you are chanting, that is very nice. It will purify you. If you are born in Shudra, you are chanting, that is very nice. Then once you die, then you become Brahmana, then you become equal to us. So all this the thing that you are doing is just to become equal to us. So this is their mentality, but not accepted by the Shastra. But actually, that is not the case. Such a man does not need to wait for the next birth to become purified. He is at once purified. It is understood that he has already performed all sorts of rites. It is the so-called Brahmanas who actually have to undergo different kinds of austerities before reaching that point of perfection. Understood? So Prabhupada is telling it is the Brahmanas think you have to do all these rites and chanting and everything to come to our level. So Prabhupada is telling they have actually who are chanting have attained perfection. It is a Brahmana who have to perform all these rites and chanting to attain to their level. It is not them who need to do all these things to attain to Brahmana level, because a Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana. It is so called Brahmanas who actually have to undergo different kinds of austerities before reaching that point of perfection. There are many other Vedic performances which are not described here. All such Vedic rituals have been already performed by the chanters of the holy name. The word Juhu means that the chanters of the holy name have already performed all kinds of sacrifices. Shashnuhu means that they have already traveled all the holy places of pilgrimage and taken part in the purificatory activities of those places. They are called Aryaha. because they have already finished all these requirements, and therefore they must be among the Aryans or those who have qualified themselves to become Aryans. Aryans refer to those who are civilized, whose manners are regulated according to the Vedic rituals. Any devotee who is chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best kind of Aryan. Unless one studies the Vedas, one cannot become an Aryan, but it is automatically understood that the chanters have already studied all the Vedic literature. The specific word used here is anuchuhu, which means that because they have already completed all those recommended acts, they have become qualified to be spiritual masters. And what does Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? Who is a knower of everything? What does Veda means in English? Veda. Veda means Veda means Veda means to know.
I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yeah, Veda means to know. So what is the purpose of Vedas? To know. To know whom? To know God. That is the purpose of Vedas. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, Krishna says, who knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is a knower of everything. So one who is chanting the names of Krishna and who knows Krishna Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has understood the entire Vedas. Krishna says, Nishtaya Guna Bhavarjuna. Krishna says to Arjuna, don't be attached to the flowery language of the Vedas. Krishna discourages people to read the Vedas. Krishna says, if you know me, you know everything. So one who chants the holy name of Krishna, he has come to the essence. Now, when you got the conclusion and you have accepted the conclusion, what's the point of going to the thesis and read thousands of pages? You have got it. There is no point. The specific word, okay. And the word Grinanti, we are almost at the end, 2 minutes. The word Grinanti, which is used in this verse, means to be already established in the perfectional stage of ritualistic performances. If one is seated on a bench of a high court and is giving judgment on cases, it means that he has already passed all legal exams and is better than those who are engaged in the study of law or those expecting to study law in the future. In a similar way, persons who are chanting the holy name are transcendental to those who are factually performing the Vedic rituals and those who expect to be qualified. Or in other words, those who are born in families of Brahmanas but have not yet undergone the purificatory process and who therefore expect to study the Vedic rituals and perform the sacrifices in the future. So question, there is very nice Brahmana. He is a pujari in a Hindu temple, goes to different homes and perform homas and yagyas and and study the Vedas and maybe live on the bank of Ganga and Yamuna. And there is other person who is born in a Western country and he who is born in a Western country and then he engages in many sinful activities. But then he has started coming to Hare Krishnas and chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Compared to those who are Brahmanas, do yagyas and perform all the homas. So who is better?
That agree.
Probably criminal. He went to one level further. And who is chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is higher. That person who is born as a Brahmana performing yagyas and doing homas and pujari of a Hindu temple and doing all these things, he has to do all these things to come to the point of taking birth in a Western family, in a family of dog eater, and in the family of illicit sex to be able to chant one round of Hare Krishna. He has to do all this performance to get to this point. This faith one should have. That person is much better. He doesn't have to do this to get that. He has to do this to get this. He is way high. That's what our philosophy says. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught by his own example.
Thank God.
There are many Vedic statements in different places saying that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord becomes immediately freed from conditioned life. All the sins are gone. They may be very sinful. They may have illicit sex, meat eating, gambling. All these sins are gone. One name of Narayan is sufficient for them. And one should have faith. This is called Shastri Shraddha. Shastri Shraddha means there is Lokik Shraddha and Shastri Shraddha. Shastri Shraddha means this is the scripture says, I believe it. Laukik Shraddha means doesn't make sense. So when we think from our mind or think from what other people say, this is Laukik Shraddha, my experience, or but Shastri Shraddha means the scriptures. One name is sufficient. Actually, it is sufficient. Now, one name is not sufficient for you to go back to Godhead, but it is sufficient to free you from the sins.
Mm.
You don't have to see Yamaraj, even if you are very simple in the past. Becomes immediately freed from conditioned life, and that anyone who hears the holy name of the Lord, even though born of a family of dog eater, also become liberated from the clutches of material entanglement. Even if you don't chant, if you hear the holy name, Prabhupada says, anyone who hears the holy name of the Lord, even though born of a family of dog eaters, also become liberated from the clutches of material entanglement. They will also not be entangled. Material entanglement means liberated. Liberated does not mean that they don't have anarthas. Anarthas will be there, but liberated from the sinful reactions
Till now.
till now,
Yeah.
till date.
Yeah.
So that's a everyday we chant, so that any sins performed during the previous day are nullified. And if you chant continuously, that is the best.
Mm.
So that's all we have.
Next,
Yes. हाँ
next verse में
अरे 9:03 हो गया बस अभी तो प्रसादम टाइम
आज का वर्ष ही नहीं हो.
आज का बस कल is somebody yeah because it will take time and we
Yes.
don't want to delay
Yeah.
the class. Okay, any questions, any discussions?
It was a lovely class. It's very reassuring. Sloka.
Very reassuring. Yeah. This shloka actually is one of the most famous verses
Yeah.
and very frequently quoted by Srila Prabhupada, by all our spiritual masters. Very frequently referred this shloka of Devabhuti glorifying the chanting. Very good. Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you for joining. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhya evacha patitanam yo Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you very much also.
Krishna Prabhu ki
Jai.
Anant
Jai.
Koti.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Done.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.